shopping, even though his birthday is tomorrow. So I ended up being a little bit late.
That's all understandable. I'm still waiting for the wife to call me to tell me to come and get her. Here it is. She's got an hour OT in today.
Hello, everybody. This is Indie Vault. We are going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's pretty sweet, all right? Pretty sweet.
Yeah. I need an opening just like that. That's awesome.
We'll get you one.
Only I want my monkey running across. That'd be funny.
How is everyone doing today? I'm, of course, your host, Varian Grant. We have a live show this week, as we usually have.
It's a live cage match.
Yeah. Sorry, there's some racket going on behind me.
Everybody's trapped in their own basement. We're all fighting.
I have no idea what's going on behind me while I'm live online.
I'm in the attic. You're in the basement.
Oh, you're in the attic. Yeah. You're still trapped in your room, damn it.
We have I guess everyone can introduce themselves. Randy?
We're going to introduce ourselves. You didn't introduce yourself other than say that you're very great.
I'm the host. I'm the owner.
Where's your branding feel?
I don't even have a hat on today.
Push yourself. Oh man.
Yeah.
This is going to be a bad show. Then we don't have your lucky hat on.
Yeah. I'm the co-founder.
He's just a big bad dad now.
Yeah. I got the
big bad dad.
Yeah.
Co-founder. It's good that you label yourself, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've been labeled much worse. Co-founder of IndieVolt, IndieVolt.com, as well as the host of this show. That's me. Blame me for everything.
Bumping the volume.
Jumping the volume again here. Randy says I've been jumping the volume. I apologize.
He swears he's going to get a new cord next week.
Yeah, I will. I'm going to look into this cord as soon as I sign off tonight, actually. May have to call the company and let them know, hey, my cord's messed up. So we have Randy Geek Zimm Geek.
Zimm Geek. Yeah, I should have put that in the title. I just put Zimm.
Yeah.
I do the Zimm Geek channel on YouTube. Been around comics for longer than most people have been alive. Done a lot of independent publishing work. Worked for a lot of different companies, but mostly printed myself. So under the Arrow title, the Massive title, Weeby for a very short time. Did Flint Comics and Entertainment for about 10 years. Ran through 100 issues, free to readers newspaper that we circulated around my county. And, now we're back on the YouTube and looking at the crowdfunding.
Next, that guy right down here.
And I'm Louis Bright-Raven, 27-year veteran of the comics, role-playing game, and industry, science fiction and fantasy as an editor, writer, and illustrator. I've worked with Steve Jackson Games, TSR Wizards of the Coast, and I've worked with Randy at Arrow and Upper Deck and other companies as well.
So many accomplishments on this panel. I am just an indie publisher, and of course the co-founder of this great show. Anyway,
and the runner of the defective sound panel.
That's a short-lived title. But I think that title was given. Those are the best titles. Most of the time, they're the best titles. So, fellas, first of all, what did you any news you guys want to talk about? Anything you guys want to bring to anybody's attention that happened this week to you? Did anybody get a paper cut in a Marvel comic at all? That's a suable offense, I believe.
Say what?
Anybody get paper cut from Marvel Comics or anything? Anybody get you reading anything? No. I'm just kidding. Just wondering when that's going to start happening. I got cut by a comic. I didn't really need money. So yeah, we are. I'm going to put on our Facebook that we're live because how many people know? I don't think they know.
Right.
People must know that we are live. 1 second. I can't deal with that. I have an attention problem, meaning I need it.
I need a wider tip felt marker. Anyway, let me know. Send me the link. We'll spread it around. Wow. Oh, that was yours. I thought I just got booted out of Chrome here. There we are. Barnyard what? No, it's StreamYard.
Yeah. Oops, I don't know why I'm sending the links like that.
Sound the alarm.
I'll send the links in a very weird way, apparently. I'm sorry. There.
Hey, there it is.
Fly. So yeah. So we got a couple different things to talk about. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this posted to my Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went through. I tested the link first.
Sweet.
Yeah. And so,
Always best. We are live. Let's
and I actually have a smile on my face for once. How's that happening? You know?
Did you are you like on medication? Is that what's happening? Are you smiling at the downfall of your enemies? Everybody's been smiling on my face.
Oh yes,
the lamentation of their women.
Yeah.
Sure.
Have you brought back Prima Nocta? I will. I'm gonna bring back Prima Nocta. So I've got some comic book news. Last Call Comics, my publishing company that I own, is going to be announcing a new signee. We signed some new talent. Yeah. And we're going to be announcing who that is Friday. Pretty up and pretty well known. Well, not well, say well known, up and coming talent. So yeah. Can't wait to see people's reactions to it. It's going to be, I'm thinking, somewhat controversial, but you know.
Well, you're always controversial.
Yeah. What signing isn't controversial these days? Can't believe you signed that person to a deal, nonetheless.
You can't do anything anymore without ticking people off, it seems.
Yeah, you can't.
At least some semblance of the population.
Excuse me for the cough, fellas. I'm still getting over whatever this is. I know what it is, but I'm slowly dying. But
Whatever that is.
I'm here for you guys every week. Every week I'm here because I'm a trusted member of the media, and this is what I do.
Trusted
member of the media. You can't trust Bleeding Cool. You can't trust MSNBC, CNN, Fox, but you can trust me and these esteemed gentlemen on the panel with me here. You can trust them. Yeah. Most of them, maybe not Lewis. So Lewis gets mad. Lewis is way too opinionated. So, guys, let's talk comics. That's why we're here, right?
Let's talk comics.
Yeah.
While we're all fiddling with our stuff, go ahead.
How'd you know I was fiddling?
Always fiddling.
Is the camera that low? I'm just kidding. So we have
Wow.
That's what a mute button is for, my friend. Everyone on Indie Volt Radio enjoying the cough. There we go. Varian stepped out for a second while he hacks up alone.
Ted Davies is in the chat. Hello, Ted. How are you this evening? This fine evening. And Ted is in Michigan.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong chat. I guess that's our private chat there on the side. Getting used to the new streaming, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have another window open for your YouTube.
Yeah. Well, there's a little.
There we are. Hey, Ted.
Yeah. So yeah, we are. I want to talk about something. And we brought it up, and I'm hopefully going to be able to get some people in here tonight. We're going to play. We don't have any special guests lined up.
We did.
Yeah. No, well, we do, but they haven't clicked their links yet. So they may pop in. I'll see it when they pop in. But we don't have special guests here right now. But I want to talk about something that I seen this week as a comment. Rob Anderson, who's been on the show a few times.
What happened?
Randy killed his camera for a second. Okay.
Killed my camera for a second. It works. Go ahead.
He posted on Rob Anderson. He's been on the show. Everyone knows him as an indie advocator. He posted that he's finally took his comic Barber Unleashed over to IndieGoGo. He was wondering, hello Trico, how's it going? Didn't have time to come on tonight, Trico. We'll miss you, but we'll see you soon. But you're listening, so that's good. Everyone see Trico has come into the chat. He's listening.
You have time to come on tonight? Yeah. All right.
Appreciate that, Trico. Thanks for letting us know, sir. So yeah, he said he came over to IndieGoGo, and he was finding that it was actually a little harder to get people to back him on IndieGoGo.
I saw that on his Facebook.
Yeah. So before I can offer any, advice, I went in there and Jesus Christ, there is a long list of people who were like, IndieGoGo it's horrible for creators and it's this and it's that. And by this and that, I mean, it's, full of right-wing trolls and it's full of, just the worst type of
IndieGoGo equals Indie Comicsgate, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah. So they were just going off on this, and they're like, "Oh, and don't forget." And I mean, it wasn't even 5 comments in. IndieGoGo lets you have more than one campaign open at a time, which is not true. You have to, from what I understand, you have to ask special permission to do that. And they're like, "Yeah, because Ethan Van Sciver has like a bunch."
He's got a half a dozen campaigns running all at once.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Which is not true. He does not have
smoke. What's going on?
So
the world is coming to an end. Frogs are falling from the sky.
So I said, okay, I need to get involved in this, and then they're like,
and honey badgers or whatever else.
And then they said that they don't care if you don't fulfill a Kickstarter either. They got people who fulfill Kickstarters. I mean, IndieGoGo campaigns up there. They don't care. And I mean, just a bunch of incorrect statements about what they do. And I just noticed that how they had to throw, and they kept throwing Zach and EVS in every comment. I mean,
absolutely. Those bastards.
So I've determined, I said I was going to coin a new phrase here. Maybe he'll pick it up. EVS derangement syndrome.
Oh, he's not. He's recognized that for some time. All you got to do is listen to his videos.
It's EVS. Oh my God, man!
The thing is, though, is he makes money off of them. That's the thing.
Someone needs to get Grant derangement syndrome, so I can make money off of it. Talk shit about me.
Sorry, that Grant derangement syndrome, I guess, is currently going through the artist community right now. There's a lot of artists that aren't getting their grants. That's what I've been hearing. I've been hearing a lot of people aren't going to have the money that they were expecting for next year. A lot of the art organizations, all of these people are tightening the reins up so that they can start giving to whatever political campaign that they're going to give to. So, and that the arts are going to suffer because of it. But yeah, Grant derangement syndrome.
Yeah,
wrong Grant though.
No, yeah, we're on Grant. So
you're worried about a variant virus.
Yeah. But Kickstarter versus IndieGoGo. Can we talk about it for a second? Do we have to talk about that? Because it all comes down to education.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with one of them.
Go out and download their rules on both sides and read them, and then decide for yourself where you want to end up. And then do your best. Do your best to try to get past and have an individual voice and try to get past the Kickstarter gatekeeper. Good luck. See how that works. You'll get through if you're a pro or if you're a friend of a friend of a friend of the gatekeeper over there somewhere. But, or if you're grandfathered in like Coffin Comics, who are really the ones that everybody needs to be following the example of. Paluto has been doing this for a couple of years now. And he's been incredibly successful at it, and he's turned it into an industry. And, that's what that seems to be the way that crowdfunded comics are really going. And he's trailblazed the example. So there you go.
Yeah, I have to agree with Randy on that.
But download the rules before you start talking bad and get to know what's going on. Because there's so many uneducated opinions out there. It's irritating. That's all. Just do your own research. That's what it all comes down to. And you'll find out that there's pluses and minuses on both sides. So
Yep.
You just got to get, got to decide what to do. There are a lot of IndieGoGo campaigns out there that are not succeeding. Just like there's a lot of Kickstarter campaigns out there that aren't making it. It's just that with IndieGoGo, you can make an open goal where you can collect that whatever money comes in. If all you think you need is a couple of grand, which really you don't. You really need to do your research on that too. You can still get that money in, but you're not going to start another IndieGoGo campaign unless you're going to fulfill it, or IndieGoGo has confidence in you fulfilling that campaign. You're done. And, you look back on, if you have to lean back on EVS and you don't want to do the research, you'll see he's really got 2 campaigns out for 2 products. One for Cyberfrog, which he should have. Sorry, I'm chasing a gnat here. He should have a physical copy in his hands here by Wednesday. When he does, oh, man, is the internet going to erupt when he starts showing that off and talking how great it is, because he gets bombastic when he gets into stuff that he likes. And 2, the Vampirella cover that all of the guts are provided to him by Dynamite, and he's just doing an outside cover for him. Those are the 2 campaigns that he has. Cyberfrog has 3 covers, and that's because he cut the cake. He's learning. Everybody's learning with their crowdfunding campaigns. EVS, his first campaign, he stopped. And he stopped it prematurely, and he figured that out. So he started a second campaign with a second cover, which he stopped, and he shouldn't have. That made what, 90,000, 92,000, something like. First one made what, 500 and something, 500.
Yeah,
I think it's in the high fives. And then the third one he left open with a third cover, so that he can get as many people who want Cyberfrog 1 out to them as possible. And that he's still got open, I think. I think that campaign is still open until even after he gets books back from the printer. Once he has the books back, then he's probably going to shut that campaign down and then fulfill all the orders at once using a fulfillment service.
Yeah, and the fulfillment service seemed the way to go.
And again, that was a painful lesson, because these people are talking to each other and they're learning from their examples. Zach had to send everything out on his own because he had to learn, how much time consuming that actually takes. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to throw stuff into mailers, make sure it's secure, put a label on it, take it to the post office. And he was doing that constantly every day. Every day he was showing a card of books or a card of packages that he was taking out to the post office. So he learned, EVS said, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get a fulfillment service. And there are fulfillment services in every major city. I've got one. I'm in Flint. I've got one that's right up the street here. It's awesome. Of course, you're going to pay for that service, and you're going to have to figure that into your crowdfunding campaign.
Right.
But, the mailers and all of that fulfillment service has already shipped out lots and lots of product if they've been around at all, and they know what they're doing. These packaging services are already set up. You say, I got a book that's this tall by this wide by this thick, and they go, oh, well, we got a mailer for that. Or, oh, we can design a mailer for that. And then they hire people to go through and shove it in not shove, that's a harsh word, but stick it into the package, tape it all up, and mail it out safely to wherever it needs to go. So, and it saves the creator so much time. You're going to start seeing these guys kicking out, just like Paluto, who, again, like I said, is the example on how to do this, because he's done it long enough to get it down to a machine. 4 books a year, maybe 2 books a year if they want to be leisurely. Myers has already said he's got the next 17 novels already in his head. And this his latest campaign, that the Jawbreakers 2 that he started, that's like 90% done. He says in 2 weeks, that book will be completely done, and it's going to be packaged up, and he's going to run that campaign for a very limited time because he wants to get the next one out. So, and he's just going to keep chunking away, just like Paluto does.
I think my personal feeling on it is that I do like, out of the perks that I've heard, I've never used crowdfunding, but out of the perks that I heard of, it seems that IndieGoGo does have a few more creative friendly perks. That being able to borrow money from what you have available could help, especially if you got, something that you had to pay for, or, your artist, if you're just a writer and your artist wants some money to, get the process going. I'm gonna let you chime in on that, Louis, but M3 SOZ asked, he says, I hear Kickstarter is run by an SJW who will freeze your money if you piss the right person off. That's from M3SOZ.
And N3SOZ, I have heard that it's run by a gatekeeper, but it's not a matter of freezing your money. It's a matter of whether or not they're going to accept your product in the first place. That seems to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. Did you just pop that up there from M3SOZ? That's sweet.
Yeah, and
that's cool. I love the new software, man. It turned out really good. But yeah, you have to do your research. You have to do your studies on what's gonna fly where and when, and go with what's best for you. And by the time you do all that research, there might be a third or fourth or even a fifth crowdfunding company that pops out there. I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be a group of people that are going to offer to do all of that service for you. That's going to spring up here really fast because there's so much money coming out of these campaigns. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people that are running these campaigns, all they want to do is produce awesome comics. They don't want to take the time to have to put a whole mailing list together and get the mailer out or do all of this. They're going to hire staff. By the second, third product, they're going to be their own publishing company, and they're going to hire their wife, their sister, whoever, to sit there and do that menial work just so that they can concentrate on the creative side of it. It's going to be, it has the possibilities. Let's put it that way. Instead of saying it's going to be, it has the possibilities for being a real boom for sequential art.
And Louis, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, you have a preference?
No, I don't have a preference. I think very much like Randy says, there's benefits for either side. It's just, do your research and suit what's best for you. And it can be different from each product. I mean, one thing might be better suited for Kickstarter. Another one might be better suited for Indiegogo.
Mm-hmm. You might be able to I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you, Louis. Go ahead. You might be able to piggyback with somebody else who's already running, a campaign and cross-pollinate. Cross-pollinate. There's it's got all sorts of, people can cross-promote now as long as they're talking on stuff like this.
There has to be cross-promotion.
Yeah. You're seeing that all over the place.
Ron Randall and Carl Kiesel were cross-promoting their most recent Kickstarters for Trekker and Impossible Jones the last couple of weeks.
That, and you've got, like with Lone Star with Mike Miller, he's doing a massive crossover comic that he's offering as a premium. Monster Hunt, I believe he's calling it. It's got Lone Star crossing over with Jawbreakers and a couple of the other, I think, CG books. I might be wrong on that, but they're doing a lot of cross-pollination. All whatever inventive way they can find to try to get people to send them money for their creative works. That's
and I want to touch on M3SOZ's question or his statement. I have heard about one of the things I think that he was alluding to as well is that there are people who have their campaigns taken down mid-campaign. You've got $3,000, $4,000 set up, and then you piss somebody off, and you could have pissed somebody off on Twitter, but now they're going to report your Kickstarter, and they yank that down.
Oh yeah, that's that gatekeeping.
Is that really SJW, or is that just people trolling and Kickstarter saying, "Well, we don't want to deal with that, and if you're going to cause that brouhaha elsewhere and bring it to us, we don't want you here."
Even that,
there's a lot of trolls that go for either side.
I'd have to ask, why would you? What type of person does that? Oh, okay.
There's only been one instance that I've ever heard of anybody having their crowdfunding money frozen by Indiegogo, and that was a misunderstanding that was quickly corrected over a weekend.
Okay,
a couple of quick emails. Kickstarter, on the other hand, completely different story.
Right.
So it doesn't seem very friendly. Ted Davies says, echoes what you guys said. He says, go with your gut, crowdfunding, etc. Educate yourself and enjoy the process. You guys, Randy and Louis, you guys have been around for a while. Do you think that Randy, obviously with Arrow, Louis, you with Constellation Studios, would a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe have helped either of your creative publishing endeavors if it was around at that point?
I don't know. Maybe not without YouTube, not without a more nationwide exposure.
Yeah, I think you'd have to have a combination of factors for not just exposure, but when Randy was doing Arrow and I was doing Constellation in the 90s, we were also going through the middle of the implosion of the market as Diamond got control of the distribution and the other distributors were dying off.
Okay.
That created I guess you say a backlash against indies in general. And it shouldn't have been against indies. It should have been against Diamond as what they were doing and how they were doing it. But we were the ones that got caught in the backlash more than anything else. Mm-hmm. And that was basically because of money. So technically, if we could have raised money to wave under Steve Geppe's nose, then maybe it would have benefited us.
I don't know if that's necessarily...
It's amazing.
But it's all circumstances and second guessing. So you can't,
that's all it is.
Yeah.
And then you guys, we talked about a bit about this. I'm sorry, I got kids outside. They're not my kids. My kid is asleep. There's just future criminals of America outside. 927
FCA, buddy. The FCA.
Where are your parents?
Parents?
We ran through a spat of that in this neighborhood
gone.
for a summer, but they're gone.
Yeah. I can't take it. It's just outside, and I don't want to ruin their fun. But come on, kids. I have a show to do. I have to entertain the masses. Let's break up another question. Here, another topic, and the next one. And I think that I'm going to give you each 3 minutes to state your opinion.
Oh,
he's trying out an egg timer.
Yeah. And it is comics in the library. Is that your phone?
Guess what? That's my phone.
Okay.
Hang on, answering it on the air. Hello, dear. All right, I'll be right there.
All right. Maybe you should wait for that question until Randy gets back.
I will wait for the question until Randy gets back. Well, she couldn't call it a better time, Randy. Imagine if you would have been mid,
right in the middle of my valuable 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Heaven forbid.
Yeah.
I shall return.
No problem. I will kick you, and then when you come back,
oh, you're gonna kick me?
You want to stay streaming?
No, it's whatever you want to do, man. You want to do a split screen? That's fine.
Yeah, I can keep you up there. We'll just look at your room. If we see any ghosts or anything,
we'll let you know.
Yeah. Or you can do a camera too.
Chalk it off to the cat, or you can. I can do this. Give me a second here.
Okay.
I can show you, or you can leave on the screen the work I did today.
Okay.
Where's my screen share? Application window, Chrome. Nope, maybe not. Nope. Share my screen. Here we go. Let's do this. That still doesn't work. Okay. Well, never mind. Kick me.
The screen thing is it's a little different in this particular.
I'll figure this out. It's all your software. I thought we had it up there before, but
we did.
This is my entire. Okay, here. Wait. Application window. All right. You can look at this.
Okay.
Boom. How's that?
Nothing changed yet.
Nothing changed. Never changes.
It's always the same.
It's always the same.
Wait, one second. Oh shit. Okay.
Oh shit.
Okay, do that again. Share it again, Randy. I'm sorry.
Nothing.
I kicked Randy. I kicked.
That's all right.
By mistake.
It's on my end. I'm trying to understand your software. I'm gonna go get the wife. So kick me or whatever. If I'm not up here when I get back, I'll jump back in.
Okay.
All right. Later.
Yep. I will move Randy from the stream for just a time. But yeah, he's still there. He's just not broadcasting, but I still see his stream. I still see his window down there. I'll be able to bring him back at any moment when he comes back and gives me a wave. It's kind of cool, this new software. It's real sexy.
Okay, then let's move on to the next question.
Yeah. So actually, not really a question, but a statement. Got a package from Louis. Was it yesterday? I guess. Was it
Yes.
yesterday? Day before yesterday? Day before yesterday?
No, it was yesterday.
Yeah, it was
Monday.
Yeah, I got his sketchbook, Wingman, which is full of Lewis's art from
the early.
this goes back from 2015, I think, or 2008, I think.
2011 is when the book was released.
2011, okay, but the art in the book goes back as far as
The 80s.
the 80s, okay, till 2011, obviously.
Right.
And it's not just art; it's stories.
Yeah, it's a retrospective of my career. A lot of people ask, well, who the heck are you and what have you ever done? You buy the book now, you know.
Yeah, and then it's a lot of his inking work, some of his pencil work. Now, Louis, you've been able to adapt to a few different styles. I see some styles that look like maybe a little George Perez.
Yeah, I started out emulating Perez and Byrne. I used to call it Bernaz.
Yeah, I see a lot in there. It's a pretty good book. I've yet to have a chance to just go through it. I love the pour through art books. I've never put out an art book myself, but I love the pour through art books. And Wingman is definitely a pretty good book. It's well put together. There's that spine check. We had this spine check for Randy. I think the book came in at about. You said it's about 90 pages?
No, it's not that heavy.
What is it?
I think it's only like 54 or 48.
Really? Yeah, but it's pretty good. It's pretty easy, and he put all the information up there. Now, if he moves, the book's going to be outdated because he's got it set to. He lives in South Carolina, so if he ever moves to like anywhere else, the book
well, that's when the book was originally published, anyway.
I have a question for you. Other than the Raven, Bright-Raven, which is your Native American
artistic pseudonym,
yeah,
as well.
What the Wingman title? Where'd that come from for this book?
Well, being a raven, bird wing, and an inker is the wingman to the penciler, and I worked a lot as an inker helping other pencilers, finishing up their artwork for production. So I just, considered the inker the wingman to the penciler, and did that since I'm a bird, a raven, and of course, the logo design, with the American star and that sort of thing, I guess you could say was off a Top Gun to a little bit as well, which, then of course you go to the town cruise. I'm not leaving my wingman.
He sent me some other books too. Which is like Right Wing Man.
Yes, Right Wing Man. That's not mine.
Yeah, which is not his. This is a parody book about a character, and the reason it's called Right Wing Man is your comics leaning too far left. Try Right Wing Man, but the character has one wing. Evidence here on issue number 5. I have not read it yet either, but I definitely plan on doing some stuff, some reading this week. And he also sent me Paper Champion, written by Jeff Duncan Morris, drawn by, is that George Santiago Jr., colored by Emily Elmer Walker, and lettered by my friend Micah Myers, who's my friend on Facebook. So I consider him a friend because that's how I am. But yeah, it's pretty cool. The cool looking book. Main character there reminds me of Sting. It's like, hey, it's Sting, but he's actually it's a black guy, I believe. It's POC, a person of color, right? Which is definitely would have been me as a kid. I was a big Sting fan. So
the big guy that looks like Sting, yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely those books look very interesting. I'm gonna be reading them this week. I will let everybody know how they are. So yeah, we've been having that conversation about if you just missed it, we just talked about Kickstarter versus IndieGoGo. We are all split down the middle, but really not really. I guess we're not really split. You believe that educate yourself, find the best service for you. But there are, and we can all agree.
Teasing me because I pick a lot of Kickstarter programs where you guys tend to promote the IndieGoGos, and you pretended that we were on opposite sides, and that was never really the case. It just so happens that the ones I like happen to be on Kickstarter. That's all, But there's some IndieGoGos that are like good too. So
I just personally think that you suffer from EVS derangement syndrome, but that's okay.
More like EVS don't give a shit syndrome.
Yeah. It's a weird thing. I go through the indie comics on both, and I just tend to really like what I see on IndieGoGo a little bit better, but there are some standouts on Kickstarter, and I will say for the most part, the ones that stand out on Kickstarter are really good books, or seem to be really good books. Again, something like Impossible Jones, and there's a couple others on there that stick out as books that I, and I back them so that I can get my hands on those particular titles.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at my what I call my online comics section for my favorites, and I've got currently only 2 IndieGoGo pieces marked off. Let's see if I can go to one of them real quick. I think that's already been, yes, it's already been funded. Okay.
Real quick, we have
yeah, that was a Vestige graphic novel that was funded as of June 20th.
Tracy Stapleton Lutkins says hi. Hi, you guys. First she said hi, Trico. She says, hi, you guys. Hi, Tracy. See, Trico was in the comments, and he's still a bigger star than we are. You see that? People come to the comments for Trico. I'm quitting this show. So yeah, this is it's very interesting that people are actually, seems to be a good week for people funding their comics. A follow-up, Katrina, who was on the show last week, actually funded her book, Teddy Bear Tales. It was funded with, I think, 12 hours ago. 12 hours ago. So it did fund. She's very excited about that. So I know those books will start showing up. But we're trying to we're trying to I told her she'd let me do a cover. She would have sold out like that. She would have funded an hour. She should let me do a cover. M3SOZ says, why don't you do a crowdfunding campaign for your books, Varian, and promote it on your radio show? M3SOZ, you know what? I have never done, I've never done crowdfunding. It's not that I don't like it. I've been blessed to be able to have the funds just to go ahead and do the books or pay people to do the books or to draw them myself. But I feel that that's going to change very, very soon. Just because
just hasn't gotten around to it yet, basically.
Oh yeah, well, a couple creators, one of which I just signed, they really, really like Kickstarter, and so it's just how
give them a chance.
She, he, them, they like to do their books, and they this is a book where they like to have a lot more control than most creators. I think most creators like to have control. I shouldn't say that. They like to have a lot of control, so they're going to Kickstarter with the book first. And I'm like, okay, so it'll be the first time my name is on a Kickstarter project, so hopefully, yeah. I don't do very big print runs. I print as needed. So,
he prints 25 at a time.
No, I don't know. I'll tell you guys who might not know where the 25 at a time came from. I was at a comic convention, and I ran into old friends and new friends, but this is it was an old friend, and we were talking about the books, and I noticed that they had went from usually having stacks of unopened books behind their table, still shrink wrapped, to having a spinner rack. And it was a table side spinner rack of about 8 or 9 titles. And I inquired as to, hey man, where are the books? And he told me, he says, "Oh man, yeah, I don't print that many books anymore." And it's like, okay, what are you talking about? And he says, "Yeah, I just print like 25 issues a title." Now, I happen to know we have the same printer, and 25 issues is about 80 bucks. You know, not to be too inside baseball here, but that's about 80 bucks. He sells his comics for a lot more. He sells his books for about anywhere between $8 to $10 per title.
Wow.
But and these are 30-page
reason
copies.
to do that. No reason to do that at all. I mean, okay, you says he's printing 25 copies at a time. It's $80.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like $2.50 an issue. You're still selling the book at $3.99. You're making a fair profit for yourself. If you're selling it there at just from you yourself. Now, if you want to talk about giving discounts for a retailer, that's a different animal. But then you do that by doing a reasonable number of print run. You know,
I got
no reason to charge $10.
I know a publisher. Who is printing. He printed a limited edition cover. Oh, it's a limited edition printed copy of his book, 1,000 copies, maybe 1,500 copies. But I know the book cost him about $4. 90-page book, 90-page comic. Oh, 60-page. I'm sorry, 60-page comic. So decently, 2 issue size, right? Cost him about $4.70, $4.75 an issue. And he sells the book for $20.
Okay.
And he does well sometimes, other times, not so much. But I think I think that we
not to interrupt you there, Varian, but to go back to my art book from 2011, it's 48 pages.
Okay.
And they have 500 print run. There's 500 copies of this total. And I made it $9.95.
Okay.
Because that was typical prices that I was seeing for art books.
So you only charge $1. You're only making $1 per book.
No. It cost I think it was $4.18.
Okay, all right.
$4.18. So I made money off the book when I sell the copies. But here's what my problem was. Before I printed the copies, went to the printer, I had all these people who were swearing up and down, "Oh, you got to print anything, we'll buy anything." And okay, I printed the book. I had over 180 emailers who claimed that they were going to buy this book, and I haven't even sold my first 100. First 100 out of the 500. Here we are 8 years later. So what does that tell you about? See, this is why I'm kind of, when MS3OZ asked you about doing Kickstarter or Indiegogo, that's why I haven't done it, because I don't want to deal with the bullshit of someone telling me they want something and going through all that work, all that promotion, trying to get extra artwork from other artists, trying to get other gimmicks and all this other stuff to give you extra prizes if you're not going to order the book. Does that make sense?
I understand. I see that.
So that's why I haven't done it. Because people have been telling me, you need to do a Kickstarter. You need to go to Kickstarter. And it's like, you didn't back me when I did the other. So, I want to make sure if I'm going to do the work that I'm going to get compensated for the work, I guess.
Right. You might see the question on the screen from Tracy Stapleton Lutkins. She says, "What's up with that Munchkin land door?"
Munchkin land door.
The Munchkin land door.
Oh,
behind
the door behind me.
Yeah.
That goes into another part of the attic where storage is, basically.
Okay, all right.
There's 2 doors, one at each end of the house.
Yeah, Trico said, "For real, where does the yellow door lead to?" Also, it matches the yellow on the accent wall. The blue and yellow make a good combo. And says, basically, he's watching for home decorating ideas.
Well, okay, I'll give you a really quick rerun here.
Okay.
You get behind my computer, and that is my artwork, Dragon. That is a Gene Ha piece of Hal Jordan beating up a Dark Star.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can see down far enough down there, but behind the far TV is the other yellow door.
Okay.
Now, this is not going to reach far enough, but I will try to open it real quick.
M3 SOZ says the horny midget's gonna come out. Oh, it's a horny midget.
Yeah. See, it's just there's no, I don't know if there's enough light in there to see anything, but all it is.
That's where he hides the bodies.
Yeah, yep. That's where I hide the bodies. Yep. That's where all my ghosts are in there. But yeah, that's where all that stuff is. Yeah, I forgot I was even back there. I never go in there.
Oh, you know, I've been looking at it and some of them like there's this door that just sits there. One day I was afraid someone was gonna walk out and just should be like a little midget that runs out and just
No midgets.
Yeah.
No, that's where all the duct work for the air conditioning is located and stuff like that.
Mr. Zimmerman is back with us. Hello, Mr. Zimmerman.
And he's not
One
back-
second.
he's not
Let me
dead.
unmute you. There you go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So yeah, so we got a tour of
The horny midget comes out of there.
yeah, we got a tour of Lewis's back door.
Oh,
The yellow door that's behind me.
can I be glad I wasn't there? Yes.
Yellow.
That's a Robbie Rodriguez move.
I gotta tell you guys something that
Robbie Rodriguez all over again.
I gotta tell you guys something that my comic shop dealer told me, and I think everyone's getting a kick out of it. It's kind of cruel, dirty. It's not a dirty joke, but a cruel joke. This guy came in with some sports legends figures. All of them were, you know, some of them were okay. Some of them though were clearly bootlegs. Okay. And he came in and he had a very rare Babe Ruth figure. And the skin tone on this Babe Ruth figure was so off. He was like yellow, like a Simpsons character. So my friend who owns the comic store says, hey, this figure, I can't, I'm not taking this one. This one isn't real or something. And it's, oh, no. The guy says, this is a variant. And he said, you know, Babe Ruth had a bad kidney. And, you know, he's going through the dialysis and everything. His skin turned yellow. So this figure, sorry.
Okay.
This figure is a variant of that. And I thought to myself, first of all, that's crazy. That's ridiculous. If someone will try it, but they should. I want a Sammy Sosa figure that gradually gets lighter. Have you guys seen Sammy Sosa lately? The baseball player?
No.
Oh, Jesus. He says that it's because he was in the sun playing baseball a lot. And now that he's retired, he's not in the sun. Well, he went from my complexion to Lewis's.
To who?
Sammy Sosa.
He went from your reflection to what?
He went from my complexion to yours.
That's possible.
Yeah.
From not being in the sun?
Mm-hmm.
I don't go outside. I haven't changed. I'm just kidding. But yeah.
All melatonin levels for you, buddy. For him, it's a matter of, you know, skin tan.
I don't know, fellas. I don't know. I mean,
I was out in the sun a lot playing baseball.
Well, it was also that. Plus, you got to remember, he did do steroids, and that does that also does affect your skin tone in later life.
Much to Todd McFarlane's dismay, it affects his bank account later in life too.
What?
McFarlane, didn't he invest in Sosa's balls?
Yeah.
Baseballs, that is. Baseballs.
There's Sammy currently.
Yeah.
It's a gradual change of Mr. Sosa.
Well, plus, you know, when you get older, your body chemistry shifts too. So if he's been inside a lot.
I mean, that almost looks like he got a couple of facelifts too.
Tell you what, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
There's one way to tell what's going on. I know he's a rich baseball player. Check his credit. check his credit. I want to check his credit because if it was going the opposite way, if it was going from what's his right to left, his credit score would be going down. But I think since we're going left to right, it's probably increasing. Probably has a country club membership now.
I don't know. I could see where you'd think it was 3 different people, but more than likely he's just getting older. His body chemistry's changing, and he's staying inside more.
Or is he using that soap? Is he using that skin bleach?
Could be doing that too.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, like I said, also those steroids that he did when he's playing baseball will have that stuff doesn't just leave your body when you stop using it. It remains dormant in you for years after.
And it screws with all of your body chemistry.
Exactly.
So it could affect the skin tone. Absolutely.
I might buy some. I don't know. See what happens. See how this works. MWSOZ says Todd McFarlane is worth like $100 million. He probably is. I used to be able to bring up net worths. I think Todd McFarlane was pretty up there though. He'd
be worth more if all of the baseballs he bought were viable. Just saying. We all make bad investments.
He likes his balls, man. Likes his balls. So he's
a sports fan.
Here was the question that I was gonna ask. Who's going first? Baseball reference.
Let Randy go first.
On first, what's on second? I don't know what's on third.
Okay, Randy, so you're gonna go first.
All right.
And the situation is the one that we had on Indie Vote Radio when we were on Indie Vote Radio a couple days ago live, and a gentleman wrote in. He says that there seems to be a newfound desire to get indie comics into libraries following suit of Marvel. And what do we think about that, fellas? What do we think about indie comics in the libraries? Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Is it brown toilet paper, which is also a bad idea? Trust me. Don't buy brown toilet paper. Never.
Any new outlet for the indies is good, and again, it would depend upon the quality of the indie book, and how competent it was done. Whether people are actually going to check it out of the library. You can sit in the library all you want. This is what Marvel's figuring out. You can sit in the library all you want. Whether or not you get checked out or not, it's a whole different story. You can make the library. Well, Marvel's making these entire library systems into buying product of their stuff, and then they're boasting about their sales numbers, all while everybody else runs into Ollie's and buys the things for $2.99 on discount, depending upon the title.
And that's what the libraries do too. Trust me.
I don't know how much of a discount the libraries are getting, but they're
not that much.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like
they get the same discount as regular Diamond, because what happens with the libraries, I hate to interrupt him, but
he's not on my time, is he?
No. I haven't started yet. I haven't hit.
All right, that's all right. Go ahead.
The libraries are actually going through secondary distributors, but Diamond's fulfilling them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all bought from Diamond at the same discount.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Randy, you got 3 minutes. Indie comics in the libraries starting now.
Well, it's like I said, if it's a good indie book, it's all good. If it's a new avenue to put books into the hands of readers, it's a good thing. If it's like Marvel and they're just sitting there and not doing nothing, and anybody could walk in, like what Lewis just did the other day, wanting to read all the series, boom, almost all of them are there. Obviously they're not being checked out very much or being read a lot. So, what can you say? They're just sitting on a shelf gathering dust. But if the indies are getting out there and finding a new audience, yeah, more power to them. Do it. Get out there and get there. I would even encourage a lot of the indie publishers to run out to their local library and see if they can place their book on their shelves, just to do it, just so that they have the exposure, especially the local exposure. You know, there's a usually a city system or a county system, even a state system, depending, but it's probably no bigger than a county. Just go out there and, you know, explain your case. And even if you have to give them a few copies, just to put them on the shelves so that you can catch readers. You never know where that'll go. It's a good thing.
And just to be clear here, I don't want to spend every time, but we're mainly referring to trades because
Yeah.
floppy copies just don't last.
No, floppy copies will tend to be destroyed, like what your example on Indie Volt the other day showed. What's the sense? They're made to be flimsy. The comic as a medium is made to be disposable. It always was up until the trades. The prestige formats, the slicker papers, those all came within the last 10, 20, 30 years. You know, but before that, it was newsprint, baby, and as cheap as they could possibly kick them out, and usually just to keep the presses from drying up and between editions of the newspaper. So yeah, the trade books, absolutely, especially the good trades, the good indies. There's a lot of good indies to be read out there. You just have to, you know, you have to find them, and the library might give you a good chance to do that.
You think that's a viable business option, though, just getting in the library?
No, I don't think it's a viable business option, but it's a viable promotional option. Absolutely, because you never know where that reader could go. You know, that reader who picks up that book in the library, like I've done with a lot of stuff when I was growing up, I went out and found actual copies of the book later and bought them, you know, just to have them because I read this book as a kid. That nostalgia factor is really, really great on a good, entertaining story. You know, it kicks in real good. But, you know, it's as it being a money-making venture, no.
Yeah, 3 minutes are up.
I know. I heard it.
All right, Louis.
I heard it.
Your 3 minutes will begin, sir. Right now.
Well, as Randy says, it's any sort of placement for your books in any venue is good, libraries included. There's 117,000 libraries in America. And there's like 2,000 comic shops. So, yes, there is the potential for marketing comics to libraries. But you have to be, I'm trying to think the right word for it, but you have to be able to market it through more than just Diamond. And there are other channels. There is Books Wholesalers, there is Ingram's, there's a few other places that I could mention. The other thing is right now is that a lot of the libraries use Hoopla, which is not a new service, but it's an online service that you can go download on your internet at hoopladigital.com. And you get the app downloaded and you can get it on your Roku or your Amazon stick or anything. And you can actually download digital copies for 21 days for graphic novels, like you would get like a book from a library, so that you can get all the stuff that's not physically got copies in your library. You can get it online that way now as well. And that's been something that's very heavily promoted in my local library because they had 4 new bookmarks promoting their system. And they show you the different types of content that they have. Everything from Garfield to Nimona from, what's her name? I can't remember her name now. I'm sorry. Oh, Noelle Stevenson, Watchmen. They had a big promotion on that past month, and I didn't even realize it. The other thing is, like Randy says, if you're going to be an independent comic and you're doing your own graphic novel, yes, take your own book into the local library and have it placed there on yourself, even if you give them a free copy. That's what I did with Wingman. As a result, I got 40 sales. So I can't complain. So that works in that respect. I don't got else to add right now. So, I do have something else to add.
Too late.
Well,
go ahead.
With Hoopla, the library pays for each download. Mm-hmm. So in other words, they pay $1 to $3 for every download that anybody takes off the cloud from Hoopla. That money does go partially back to the creators.
Okay. I guess I'll give it a go.
Start the timer.
There it is. All right. So putting your comics in the library, like you said, Randy, great for publicity. Louis, Hoopla sounds like an amazing service, especially if it can put money back into the pockets of the creator. I'm all for that. At least something. My issue with it is that people think that because Marvel's doing it, and Marvel somehow in their mind apparently believes that this is the wave of the future.
Uh-huh.
It shows me, and Louis, we talked about this. You didn't agree with me, but it shows to me that Marvel really now has alienated us, the readers of the products, as the customer. We don't know what the customers. They don't want they're getting rid of the direct market. They don't care about them anymore. So now they're going to go to the libraries and get some of that library grant money, which maybe will be tightening up.
Never cared.
Well, that money will be drying up pretty soon. But the library asks for maybe 4 or 5 copies a issue, and then they don't. No one's buying the book. They're not investing in the book. I'm just going to go to the store, get it from the library, come home, read it. What about going to your comic store or even Borders or not Borders? Sorry, Borders.
Well, the reason that you do that is because
you are on my time. I'm just kidding. Who has a rebuttal? You have a rebuttal? Okay, you can have a rebuttal once I'm finished. I got 1 minute left. They are the money isn't there. They're putting these books on the shelves at the libraries, and quite frankly, that's it. The customer's not going to go in there and buy it. And Ted says it's a service to the public, and I agree, it is a service. It's great to have the libraries to go there and get the books, but to try to frame your business around getting in the libraries, it just seems short-sighted to me. And I'm going to end my time there and give Randy the rest for my rebuttal. I rest my case for the gentleman from Flint.
It's not really a rebuttal as much as a statement. You're talking about Marvel and the direct market and Marvel and the libraries. They're looking at this as two completely different things because they've already stated in the past. If you go back on the Fourth Age and listen to a few of his videos, he's dissected this a lot. Marvel doesn't care about the retail market. They don't care. The direct market, they want it gone. Because in their opinion, a lot of the people up there consider the direct market as being a bunch of misogynistic old men that they'd rather not have reading comics or in business. They'd rather them not have business, period. And they're looking at the libraries as indoctrination stations where the youngsters can come in, especially the youngsters who don't have a lot of money, and read and get to know their brands and their product in order to turn Marvel into a lifestyle brand. It's a goal of theirs. Don't ask me how they expect to make a lot of money for it in the short term, but I think somebody up there thinks they're thinking in the long term, and it's not necessarily going to work because you're going to have a lapse in time there while these people grow up and actually start making an income compared to the retail shops that are closing out at what, 100, 200 a year. So I'm not sure exactly what the number is, but the theory runs is that Diamond has like 1,900 accounts right now, and when they get down to 1,500, they're going to have a real hard time surviving.
Well, Louis brought up an interesting fact, and Louis, I'm going to need you to check that out again and Google it for me. You brought up the comic store, how many comic stores we have, and how many libraries are right in the United States right now.
Right. The libraries are estimated at around 117,000, and the official number of comic shops ranges between 1,900 and 2,500, depending on who you talk to.
Okay. And Tracy,
I honestly feel that 2,500 is an old number.
But like I said, it just depends on who you talk to.
Right.
Tracy Luckin says libraries do not have money to pay indie artists. They have tight budgets. If you want to be available at the library, you should be donating it. I agree, Tracy. I agree. Yeah. I mean, the books, at that point, you're just trying to get your
again, though, you're lucky if these libraries are taking 2, maybe 3 copies tops, depending upon. It's not like a video store that's buying 25, 30 copies of a film that they know that they can move. That even though that number is vast, not every library is picking up these graphic novels, especially once they figure out how much of this product is going to be sitting on the shelves. I think you're going to see a minor black and white, a minor version of the black and white bust on that as they stop taking a lot of that Marvel product, and either that or cut way back on a lot of that.
That's why they're moving over to Hoopla, because Hoopla is its own separate thing from the library. The library, like I said, they pay 99 cents to $2.99.
And again, they're putting their hopes on digital.
But it's not just digital downloads for comics; it's digital for audiobook, records, everything.
Even though the digital market has stagnated over the last 3 to 5 years. Now that's why Comixology keeps having all their sales. Please come in, please get our stuff. Our numbers are flat. So, plus anything that's out there digitally, is open for piracy.
Yep.
Piracy.
Okay.
Piracy.
Arg.
Arg.
It's the adventures of the digital pirate. Arg.
Arg.
We be stealing your files and giving it out to anybody. That's the way we work. That's why there's a to me there needs to be a push for the physical.
M3SOZ says,
especially the disposable physical. I think that's the key.
M3SOZ says, did you see the video where a woman editor or person of sway said that comic shops are boys' clubs and not inclusive? I believe she also added that they were scary and uninviting.
And I believe you need to go back and see which time that was said, because that has been said multiple times, especially from representatives up there at Marvel.
But I think when it was recorded, it was Sana, right?
Those people. What?
It was Sana, right? Sana Amanat?
I'm sure she said it at one point or another.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a couple of Marvel videos out there that I've seen that run that chain of thought.
Hey, don't want to go in the comic store? Is it big and scary?
Oh, they're terrible. They're all misogynistic men who, you're just a little girl and you don't want to be harassed while you're there by all these geeks who are, these incels that are drooling because you actually have different parts than they do. Oh my goodness. Stay away from the comic shops. We're going to make it down anyway. Look at all the stuff they're flooding the market with right now.
We might lose a subscriber. I don't know about this.
Oh. That's one thing that DDO actually has done right, is that he says we're cutting back and concentrating on quality. It's just that now he needs to go out and find enough quality talent to boost his lineup.
Well, we know the DDO says it's not there. The talent isn't there.
Yeah, well, it's just not there. And all he's got to do is call David Campetti and say, "Hey, that talent isn't there." And once he gets done laughing, he'll give him a book of all sorts of people all around the world that would love to do DC product.
The only time my wife said she felt uninvited in a store was in a games workshop when they paint little figures like Warhammer and stuff.
I can see that.
Of course, my wife walks into the store, and I don't think my wife has a shirt for collar up here. No, she. I mean, even her t-shirts are like V-necks, but. She walked in and like she couldn't get any help. Like I couldn't even get any help. The guys were like, all I wanted was to buy a little small pewter figure. But I could get no help in the store that day. But those I could see how that place might be considered uninviting. But comic shops, I've never had and she's never had any problems in them. You walk in, you get what you want, you get the heck out.
Well, it's a slow turning boat, is what it is, and there's still so many. And again, that leans back on educating and research and getting to know exactly what these places are all about, instead of listening to whoever's saying, "Oh, those places are dangerous. Don't even go in." It's a matter of going in and finding out for yourself. And I'm sure that there are shops out there that are guys that are in the basement that are. That haven't bothered to remodel since the 1980s. I'm sure those shops exist out there, but there are also a lot of other really awesome, very clean, very independent-minded, very open-minded, very inclusive and diversity-driven shops. And you'll see which ones are going to wash out in the end. The ones that cater to the largest audience and our favorable, bright, inviting are the ones that are going to end up making the most money.
Right.
And carry the widest variety of product. I love walking into a shop that looks like that. I hit Collector's Corner up in Midland a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago. You know, I'd never been up there before. I was up there pushing the Saginaw show, and walked in, and there's an entire wall of nothing but graphic novels. Holy crap. You know, I was down on my hand. I would looked over that wall for a good half hour, some of the time on my hands and knees, looking at all the stuff he had, because there was stuff there that I hadn't seen in years, and a lot of other stuff I'd never seen. So I ended up walking out of there, you know, with $100 or so worth of graphic novels. Cool. That were really awesome. Yeah.
But yeah,
and you know, got to meet a retail guy that I had never met before. And the shop was incredible. Looked really sweet.
Okay.
But yes, like you're saying, there are places that are scary. I mean, I can remember back in college, it was so bad. I would go into the stores and say, you know, the guy would bring his girlfriend, and the girl would hang by the door. You know,
and again, you're leaning back 30 years.
Yeah, but that's you know,
that's 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an old stereotype, you know, narrow-minded thinking that has long since hopefully evolved.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen it.
It's a slow turning.
Some yes, but not all. I still see it today.
I would consider that most places have already shifted. You still have some that are seedy looking, and you know, there's a lot to be said for a musty smelling old style comic shop, because you never know what you're going to find. But the majority of the places have turned into genuine businesses that are inviting to anybody that walks through the door. That's the way you make money. It's only simple business.
Right.
You know, but to brand all of these people as you know, and all of these shops as scary, and decide, well, we're going to do our best to, you know, flood the market and try to drive these people out of business. It's just, you know, bad business. It's just bad thinking. It needs to be corrected. Really does.
Sure.
Sorry about that. I was typing something. Excuse me. So if you were with us last Tuesday, yeah. We had Katrina Roten, and Katrina stated she runs IndieGoGo. She runs well, I'm drawing a blanket name of her site.
Don't get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, she's gonna kill me. Geekorama.net. Geekorama.net. And she had stated that people have approached her about doing paid reviews for their comic, and those paid reviews are usually favorable, but she makes sure she posts that we received whatever for these. And one of the questions asked to me on Indie Vote Radio, and I want to share, I would give you guys the opportunity to weigh in on it, is paid reviews. Do they hurt indie comics or just comics in general? If you see in a book or on a website that this review was paid for by this person, do you pick the book up? Do you feel like that's an addict?
Well,
Louis, have you been paying for reviews?
I've never paid for reviews of my work, but I've been paid by plenty to do reviews of their books.
So you're part of the problem, sir. You've been reviewing books. You've been taking payola.
Nope. I get paid by whoever puts it up. I mean, I just did reviews for you for WWE and New Japan, right?
Yeah.
If you were to pay me for those, okay, I got paid, didn't I?
Well, yeah, but we're talking about you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about where I, as a publisher, come to you and say, review my book on your service, on your page. Review my book. I'm going to give you $50. Here's $100 or whatever
the price is, right?
Yeah. But you know, the review needs to be favorable because I'm paying. So you're going to only accentuate the positives and hide the negatives in my book.
Oh no, now that I didn't do. I never hid the negatives.
Okay, well, excuse me. That's what's being done. But she says that the way she counters that is by saying, "Hey, you know," she posted at the bottom of the review, "This was a paid review." Almost an advertisement in a way.
Right.
Yeah, because that's really what it does, or what it is. It's an indie ad. When you get paid to do a positive review like that, and you give them a positive review, Katrina does it right. Because the thing that really hurts after a while, it's going to be the reviewer a lot more than the indie comic that's reviewed. Because a person will pick up that indie comic once and then decide never to pay it again. But they'll pick up that indie comic and realize the reviewer was full of crap, and they'll never listen to that reviewer again.
Right.
Thus, bleeding cool. But anyway, whole nother story.
Now that goes back to before that. Go with CBR.
John Norris.
That's true. That's very true.
He's the music director for a youth production of Disney's High School Musical Junior. That's why he's always great. It's pretty cool. I just my wife has gotten me into watching Riverdale, and they had a musical episode where they have a school play, and I love musicals. So that's my wife tricked me into watching Riverdale.
Well, I'm hoping to get John to do some musical direction for my show that you and I have been discussing.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You guys, let me see here. Do I have another one? I do not have another one up there, but I do want to know from you guys. Ted Davies says paying for a review is fine, but I would not want a review of my comic like that. Yeah, I mean, Ted, I agree. I think if you pay for the ad and it's right on the thing, this person, Ted Davies, gave us, cash compensation for this review, because I think most magazines they don't have to put how much, but they do have to put the nature of the payment, into what the review was, unless it was a free copy of a book. But some reviewers even say we received this copy of a book for free for review purposes. But I have seen where we received cash compensation for this review.
Right.
And it just, and if it's put at the end of the book, at the end of the review, it really sucks, because I'll read like this whole, 2-paragraph review of this book, get really excited about it, and then find out, oh, that's right. Oh, at the end, oh, well, they paid for this review. So should I believe? Should I rush out to get the book? I was just going to pick it up, and now not so much. Yeah.
Here's another thing about reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I always had a fight with Comic Book Resources when I was doing reviews about this. They always wanted to wait until the book was already out in the market. That's not when you put your reviews out. You put them out when the books are being solicited, so that there's a buzz for it, so that the retailers will actually order it and carry it in their stores. Because otherwise, what good is a review after the book's on the market? Because the books have either already been sold or they were never ordered, so you can't get them anyway.
And again, that's probably CBR's lack of understanding as to how the business actually works. Because the true customer out there is the retailer. That's, and the retailer pushes to the consumer. Mm-hmm. The retailer very rarely follows the consumer as much as the consumer follows the retailer. You get the right person in a store with a twinkle in his eye and a love of comics, and you could move, just about anything of quality. Mm-hmm. From this guy going, did you like this book? Well, you're going to love this book. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly they're walking out with 10 books as opposed to the 3 that they had reserved behind the counter.
Right.
That's the whole idea, though. That's part of retailing. Again, that's business.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
The Shrinking Earth theory. Comics where everyone knows your name.
Cheers.
I know we really can't discuss the specifics of the situation, but I did promise Katrina I would bring it up. So we can't discuss the specifics. We can't say names, gentlemen, even though I think you both know. But Katrina and I talked about something, and she really felt upset about what happened in a situation where she was working on a book, and she was really upset about it. And she pretty much got treated unfairly, I think it's fair to say, by the creator of a book. They made a sexist remark about paying her half of what they would pay a male counterpart, only because she was female, right? And I guess I tried to play it off as a joke, but that's, in this day and age, that even as a joke is not, no, you don't do that.
Plus, when you bring money involved, that stops being a joke.
Right.
You know, if money or favors, anything like that, that has to do with the differences in gender. That's no.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
And this week she was terminated from working on a book. Katrina, she told us, she's pretty much hand to mouth when it comes to this industry. She works, she gets money. It goes on a bill immediately. She's got 2 young men to put through college now. So, her work is comics or not just comics, but editing. She edits prose and novels as well, prose novels. But she's, going through those, she's going through that motion, and she's really upset about it. And she wanted to get it off her chest. And this all happened after, on show last Tuesday.
Last week's show, yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why she was scheduled to join us here tonight. She hasn't, because she's very upset about this. But she reached out to some of her fellow.
I hope she doesn't blame us for that.
No. She doesn't. I spoke to her. I just spoke to her about 10 minutes ago. She just kind of wants a break. She'll be on next week. She will be here next week.
Sure.
But so of course, our thoughts are with her. But and hope she feels better soon mentally. But she wanted to go. She wanted to release a statement, and she wanted to tell the person, get a piece of her mind. And she was told by fellow editors not to. She's told by fellow male editors.
Okay, hold on.
There's no female editors.
When you say fellow editors,
yeah,
how many of them are women?
None.
Then don't. I'm serious. When it comes to this type of a situation, there are so many other women editors that could give her proper advice. And if she wants to come talk to me privately about it, I can point her in the direction to go talk to those people about the situation and what they would recommend.
Mm-hmm. And again, in my opinion, you're dealing with the difference between professionalism and immaturity.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. If you're editing, people in the chat will probably agree. If you're editing a book and you find out that the creator, the writer, has multiple editors shadowing you on a book at the same time.
Yeah.
First of all, your job is now much more complicated.
Yeah. Well, the situation she described too was far from professional.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't professional at all. It was horrible. Horrible situation for her to be involved in. And now she's out of it, but she's also out of the money she would have, gotten. She did get some of it, but not all of her payment. I think Katrina needs to start locking in ironclad contracts. People, hey, you're going to pay me. We're going to get this book done. You're not going to fire me, halfway off the book because, I found out that you're, breaking the rule. But as far as people telling her, if she was told, don't worry, he's going to sink himself. Because she just wanted to write, hey, it's a small world in comics and it gets smaller every day. More people, and they no, don't write that. He'll sink himself. And I really think, and this particular individual, what the sexist comment that was made, I should pay you half because you're a woman.
Not exactly a mature remark.
No. And you should be called to the carpet for that remark. And if Kat ever wants me to post it up on IndieVote, I will. I will, because that's not a cool thing to tell anybody. Because you're this sex. Because I know that person would not like it if someone said, because you're this race, or you're this gender, or you're this, you're this sexuality. I should pay you half of what I would pay. He wouldn't like that, and I don't appreciate him talking to Katrina like that. She's a friend of mine, a friend of the show. And yeah, that's upsetting. But yeah, she's not here with us.
And in the end, talent and professionalism are going to win out, especially to the people who want to be, professional in the market.
Yeah. Trico says, were there multiple editors because one was a line editor and the other a content editor? No, Trico, these were all just regular story editors, as I understand it.
As I understood it, basically what happened was she was informed by the creator that he made an alternate reality version of the property with a different editor, and now that story was going to be the primary, and then her version that she was editing was either like a secondary or the backstory or something.
And to be killed off, correct?
I don't know if it's meant to be killed off or not. That might have come up later.
Yeah.
But it was clearly a slap in her face.
Yeah.
The way he expressed that. And that was what started the ball rolling. And then I don't know, less than 2 or 3 days later, he informed her that he was terminating her. And I was like, when I first heard about this from Katrina, I understand her frustration about not receiving the money for the work that she's already done or whatever the situation is on that front. But to me, it was very much good riddance to bad rubbish. You don't need this headache, because this was the same person that she was trying to edit that didn't seem to want to take any of her input and do what he needed to be doing to make the book proper anyway. So I don't know if that situation would have worked itself out without this situation. On top of it, I think they would have ended up parting ways regardless. But the way he handled his business otherwise just compounded the problem.
I think that when you have a situation like that, her termination was less than professional.
Mm-hmm.
To say it was without warning.
That was. I mean, if you're going to say that the other situation, I had another book, is a warning, no, it's not. That's a blind slide.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, we all know that in this business there's a risk of getting fired. That's fine. Fire me, but at least then they had people come in. She even told one of her fellow editors, "I felt like I got played. You didn't get played. You didn't get played. You got some money. Take that. I guarantee if it would have been him, he'd have been all on. Was it indie comic controversy? What are the other ones? All those indie creators pages on Facebook. Don't work with this guy. He does this and that. But because it happened to her, oh well. So that brought up a question. And Randy, we said that the comic industry would never be unionized, and that's fine. But there's apparently no editors guild.
No,
there
isn't. And we were talking about that, and she told me that there was a gentleman, I forget his name, but he's working on trying to get an editors guild started with paid memberships. Feelings on that gentleman?
Good luck.
Yeah, what Lewis said. If he starts taking money for that, all of a sudden he's not going to get any work.
Well, do you think
bigger companies, at least?
Do you think something that's like, you said if he starts taking money for that, he's not going to get work?
Yeah, the first minute he starts asking for dues from people, they won't. They'll just quietly, the editors will quietly lose his number.
Even if it's like $5?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Any sign of organization, just like Walmart, shut them right down.
Yeah, this is part of the reason why we can't get any real science fiction fantasy writers, is because most of them are part of the Science Fiction Writers of America and Horror Writers of America that are guilds, and they do protect the rights of the writers, and that's why the comic companies don't want to always work with them, because they're like, oh, if we screw up, they got these guys that can come after us.
Yeah.
Even though
that explains why Marvel leaned on so many young adult authors instead of authors with real fantasy or science fiction training.
M3SOZ asks, for everyone on the panel, is there any comic that you picked up either in the past or present where the art was great, but the story was garbage enough of a disappointment that you remember it well? Oh, so many. So many.
I don't know, because I usually stop reading it if the story is garbage.
Yeah, Randy, you have that gift.
Like
You have that gift. You stop reading rather you can shut a book like a comic book. I have to read it to the end. You give up.
I stop. It's not a matter of giving up. It's just hey, it's shit. But there have been some incredibly well written books out there that didn't make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. But he asked, is there any books that were so crappy you remembered it well? For me, oh man, I'm probably gonna get so much hate for this. It was that recent Hellcat run.
Say what?
I forget who wrote it.
No,
but it was
the book?
Hellcat.
Hellcat.
Yeah.
Okay, what was that? From Marvel?
Hellcat, yeah, from Marvel. The girl in the yellow and blue trim.
Yeah.
Okay, are you talking about the current cartoony one? Or are you talking about the one by Englehart that's like 15 years old?
No, it was like the current cartoony one. But he says, this has got to be from an artist that I really like. Oh man. Well, if it's from an artist that I like and with a story that sucks, that's the parameters.
There's one book that really stands out to me that fits that criteria.
What's that?
Let me guess.
Who wants to guess?
Mark Wade book?
What?
Is it a Mark Wade book that you couldn't get through?
Yeah, I'm afraid it is. It's Kingdom Come. I thought it was pure trash, except man, it was Alex Ross drew this thing. It was awesome. And I love Alex Ross, but holy crap, that story was incomprehensible. Just and it wasn't even the fact that the plot was bad as much as just the bones of it, the diagnostics of it was just horrible. I'm sitting there reading it and rereading it and rereading. I just gave up after a while. It's pretty to look at, but holy crap, what the hell is he trying to say?
Do you think that I'm trying to think of
everybody else seemed to enjoy it. So hey, But for me, I must have been missing some key captions or something in that book somewhere.
For me, guys, it's got to be it's got to probably be. It's a toss up. You guys are gonna be like, "What the hell?" But it's a toss up between Identity Crisis,
okay,
and the last issue of Civil War, because it ended so anticlimactically. Like they were building up. Because
I've never actually read the Civil War comics, so
I've been spared on both of those pains. I haven't read them.
Identity War was Rags Morales. Forget who wrote. Brad Meltzer wrote it. And
he seems to be an accomplished writer.
When I got to
the Brad Metzler situation with Identity Crisis, is that the one with where Sue Dibney gets killed?
Yeah. She gets
killed. A homicidal maniac.
Yeah, because Dr. Light snuck into the watchtower and raped her.
Right.
Wow. And then they mind wiped him, and I think they mind wiped her. Batman came in on him like, "What the hell are you guys?" Spoiler alert.
Everybody gets mind wiped.
Yeah.
And that. Yeah.
Batman. The town of mind wiped Batman. Which is like when he found out, he freaked. Like, you mind wiped me? Oh shit. Which that part was good, but it was too many moving threads in that story, and they weren't handled very well. And I didn't like the book when it was all said and done. And the Civil War just ended. And the next issue of Captain America was great, but
I refer to that entire thing and I haven't read it all. I got to admit, I never read it all, as a meandering piece of trash. Actually, that's the only way I can describe that. It kept me out of Civil War too. Also,
yeah. Louis, you got the book. You like the art, but the story sucked. But you remember it well. It's such a disappointment that you.
I'm exactly the opposite. It's the writers that I love the story, but the art takes me out of it. I can't think of that. I can't think of an art where the writing was that bad. I don't know why. Off the top of my head, I just can't think of one.
From Hell took a while to read.
Yeah,
because it took a while to get used to Campbell's style. but once you got into it, it was
Yeah,
incredible.
but
Work of genius.
the Campbell's art wasn't bad. I mean,
Oh yeah, it was scratchy, and and it almost fit the setting. Well, I won't say that it was bad. It took a lot of getting used to.
right.
Took a lot of getting used to, but I recommend everybody read that book because it's just that good. After a while, once you get past the art style, it's when you're done with it, you sit there and you go, "Holy crap!"
I think I got a copy with the movie.
There was a lot that went into this book. What?
I think I got a copy with the movie.
Yeah, the movie's trash compared to the book. The movie's really bad. When you sit and you look at it, you have to get through the second chapter of the book.
Mm-hmm.
That's the true test. Once you there's a carriage ride where they're going through and explaining every intricate move about the architecture of London and all of the phallic symbols that are there, all of the obelisks. Once you get past that, then it gets a lot better and it moves real smooth.
I guess I'd have to mention, like Randy mentioned, Wade for Kingdom Come. I guess Wade and Perez did a year of Raven the Bold, first year of Raven the Bold. And I can remember reading the story and just going, what the fuck, Mark? You missed this point and this plot point and this plot point. This wouldn't happen because of this, that, and the other. That's the most recent thing I can come up with in my head. And of course I love the Perez art, but again, it's like the story was like, no, that's not how it would work. Because,
guys, we're approaching. I think our viewers know that we shortened our time span from 9 to 11. So we can give you more shows throughout the week. So we're going to be trying to get another show very soon. We'll let you guys know about the dates and the times of that. So we'll come to you 2 times a week. Yay. But with that being said, I want to dedicate these last few minutes of the show to any IndieGoGos or Kickstarters that you're watching.
Let's not get back to doing book reports.
No, not a book report, but you just say which one you're watching. Any that came on your
why don't we do that along with what we're working on? What are we all working on at the moment?
Yeah.
What can people look for from us?
Yeah, from us. Okay, we can try that too.
As well as what we're watching.
Okay. How about that? Randy, why don't you start it?
What, the watching part?
Yeah, the watching and then what you're working on.
The books, the campaigns that I've invested in is Long Harbor, and if you haven't seen that, that's on IndieGoGo. It's an amazing book about the New England town that ends up being invaded by Cthulhu type demon creatures. It's just beautiful. It looks good. I hope it's written as well as it looks. It's very pretty. Other than that, I've invested in the Earthworm Jim books because it's Doug TenNapel, and I was really so impressed by Bigfoot Bill that it got me past all of my previous reservations about Earthworm Jim. And it's like, well, Doug's doing it. It's going to be an awesome product. I want to invest in it. Other than that, Ethan gets Cyber Frog here on Wednesday, and the second Jawbreakers book, the campaign just started, and it looks like Zach's actually going to learn a little bit more or be careful a little bit better about his writing capabilities. And if he grows as a writer, I'm very interested in seeing that title's got some possibilities. The artwork's really good. John Malin, I think, did that, and Chuck Dixon's got a story in it, and there's a couple other artists that are also in it. But other than that, I think that's all I've invested in at the moment. And as far as watching, there's really, I'm looking forward to Star Blades whenever that kicks out from Kyle Ritter. That'll be interesting to see. I think that's the next big one. So that's the IndieGoGos I'm looking forward to, and some of those are months down the line. So
okay,
I don't know, the Earthworm Jim book I think is due out in February, even that far off. And the Long Harbor book's going to be worth it because all of the pages are all watercolored, and you can tell the guy's really taking his time on it. It really looks pretty. It's amazing.
Coloring those pages. He's taking a note from Ted Davies. It's
Yeah.
Ted Davies' watercoloring retrieve. It's all watercolor. Fantastic looking book too. It's
Yeah.
a very different practice. And now, what are you doing, sir?
What am I doing? I'm doing some commercial work right now. I'm organizing a couple of shows. I got a show coming up September 14th in Flint. Might have another one coming up before the end of the year. I don't know. So other than that, it's a lot of commercial work. And then between that, hopefully I'm going to have some open time here really fast. I'm looking at getting past the commercial work next couple of days. I only have 2 more. Every time I say I've only got 2 more, I get 2 more. So I've only got 2 things that I have to personally attend to that I'm not brokering. I'm brokering a couple of other shirt jobs right now. But other than that, I should be past that by the end of the week so that I can start concentrating on doing some of my own comic book work.
Excellent.
So, and then I'm going to start digging through this basement and pulling up a bunch of the old artwork and the old files and seeing what I have and don't have.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
That's the goal.
And
should have put me under a 3-minute timer. We'll stay here for a half an hour talking about. That's not good.
we know that.
That's not fair to everybody else.
And Louis, what are you watching first? What are you watching?
Tonight they just launched a new Kickstarter for another spinoff book. We talked about Gladstone's School for World Conquerors a couple weeks back. The new solo spinoff for one of the characters, Kid Nefarious, just launched today.
Okay.
So I'm watching that. And I'm also watching Orbit, which is also a Kickstarter. It's about I'm trying to think of it. It's an otter in space. So I was like, that's kind of interesting there. That's most of what I've got right now that hasn't already been, cashed through and out. I'm going to be getting Impossible Jones and Trekker from Carl Kiesel and Ron Randall. And I'm also looking to get some other books from not from IndieGoGo or Kickstarter, but directly from creators, which if you don't mind, I'll save them for the next show. As far as what I'm doing, I've been talking with Varian about possibly doing some work unrelated to comics, but still related to Indie Volt. And we're still in the development stages of that. I don't really think we're ready to talk about that yet, are we, Varian?
No, not yet. I still have to talk with the other people that will be involved. But,
okay. Not just that stuff, but the other thing. It's just me.
It's keeping Louis out of comics, far away from where he belongs.
Right.
Yeah, right. It'll even take Louis off the show of his Kickstarter rhetoric. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. So that's what you're watching. What, sir? Huh?
Doing, like I said, I'm working with we're developing that stuff with for Indie Volt, you and I, and I'm debating whether or not I'm going to launch a Kickstarter later this summer. I haven't decided yet.
What book would it be for? Can you reveal that at all?
That's what I'm debating about. I don't really want to do it for Blake and Terror. Not until I've got at least 2/3 of the book done, and I don't have that ready to my level of satisfaction. So there's another project that is a smaller project that I have to decide on whether or not I'm going to pursue it or not. I don't want to give too much about that until I've actually committed one way or the other.
Okay, all right. As for me, I am watching absolutely nothing. No, I am watching a few books. I tried to get them to show up here. Let me see. I'll bring them up. There are. Gosh. Why do I bring up my favorites? I thought I could bring up what I had been watching. Sorry, I should have been prepared about this. Thought it was like a heart that was showing me or something. What the hell? I've just. Oh, okay, yeah, there we go. Soul Finder Demons match. It's pretty interesting to me, as well as Pink Lemonade #1. That's by Nick Cagnetti.
Yes,
I hope I'm pronouncing his name right.
I
You know
forgot
how you
about
get
that.
Nick on the show. Yeah. I had seen it, and then you sent it to me like a day after I seen it. It looks pretty interesting. Very unique art style. I had to check that out, as well as this
Where's
Killers in
that
the Skies.
Can you screen share that? Is that a crowdfunding campaign?
Pink
Yeah,
Lemonade.
the
Yeah,
Pink
it's on
Lemonade.
Indiegogo.
Sure, I can screen. Yeah, I can screen share. One
Screen
second.
share that.
Can
Let's
you
take
give
a look. That
Okay.
sounds unique.
Yeah, he's asking for a very modest amount right now. Nothing.
Only
Too-
$1 billion. What?
Only $1 billion American. Please, American. There it is. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That looks like Allred.
Yeah, it's kind of all red Scioli.
Can you
Scroll.
pull down on that?
Yeah. give me a
Indiegogo,
second.
Pink Lemonade, huh?
Yep.
He's only looking for 2,000. When did he start? Oh, 2 weeks ago.
He's got 13 days
Yeah.
left.
He started 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. He might make it. I think he'll make it.
No, I think so too.
Yeah.
That's is that just a regular 32 book, a floppy, or what?
I believe so.
An ash can?
Yeah. He talks about it in here. $4 for the different covers. It's got a couple different cover options there.
That looks cool.
Yeah, it looks good. I think I'm gonna probably gonna pick it up.
I like that cover. I like that cover a lot. The Allred looking one.
Yeah.
That looks cool. I saw Allred's got a new X-Men book coming out after Ecstatic that they're making some noise about. But that's awesome. Oh, look at that. That's sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So
Yeah,
I'm excited.
that looks excellent. That looks really good. Yep.
I'm excited about it. It has a very unique art style. I like it.
I'll definitely look at that. That's under Pink Lemonade.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Pink Lemonade's name of the title.
Good.
Hey, look at that. Hey, look at that.
Wait a minute. Got to go back now. Yeah, I love that. That's an awesome look.
Terrific and original like crazy by Mike Allred.
Yeah.
John Cassaday, Dan Brayton, Nocturnal.
Brereton.
Brereton.
Brereton, okay.
And again, that's probably a name you're not familiar with. Back in the 90s and 2000s, he had quite a mark. Did
See, I am familiar with.
what, the Supernaturals? Yeah, the Nocturnals. That's the name of the book.
See a name I am familiar with.
Who, what?
See, I see a name I am familiar with.
Jamal Ingle.
Yeah.
Why is he listed from? Did Molly Danger ever come out?
Yes, Molly Danger had a hardcover edition out, and then he did a couple of singles in floppies for Action Lab, and then it kind of went away for a while.
Now he did a Indiegogo on that, right? That never got fulfilled.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah.
All I know is it actually did come out and was sold in stores because I bought one at the store.
Yeah, I thought I saw something like that out.
Yeah. Now, was that the book that sold in stores, but the backers never got? Was that book?
I don't.
Oh, you know that might have been the one.
Ooh.
I know somebody was complaining about it at one point or another. Pink Lemonade,
Yeah,
Lemonaid.
No, Lemonade.
Well, that's why I didn't call up there.
Pink Lemonade #1.
There we go. Oh, yep, got it. Okay, cool. I'm bookmarking that, and I will probably be donating to that cause.
I'm also following Killers in the Skies, the graphic novel. It looks pretty good. It's about a child assassin. A child assassin must choose between the agency that created him and the survival of his loved ones. So it's a child assassin. I'll screen share it. I know that helps, right? Let's see here.
It's a lot.
Say again.
Nothing. Just reading the Indiegogo on Pink Lemonade.
A child assassin created by one of the world's most ruthless government agencies must choose between the agency that created him and the survival of his loved ones. KIDS is an acronym for Killers in Disguise, and that's the truth. It derives from a top secret government agency known as the FFA, False Flag Agency, that creates, recruits, and trains children to become deadly assassins to control the world populace.
That has to be an Indiegogo.
Yeah.
That is.
Now, I think the only thing with this book, and I was trying to make sure, and It just kind of came across my radar the other day. I don't think there is a actual printed. No, you get a color physical. Okay, color physical book, sign, and PDF.
He's trying to sell digitals.
No, he's got both.
He's got a lot of digitals, but I'm trying to see if there was.
Scrolling down. Let's look at the artwork.
Okay, I don't think you get into the physical book until you get to the $50 tier, though. I have to check into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that it's very heavily digital on that from that screen,
Mm-hmm.
and that might be why he's making you pay for the higher tiers for the print, because it may not come out printing very well, which would not be good. I think I'd like to see a little bit better. It's hard. I mean, I'm looking at a smaller screen. I'm not seeing it that well. Let's see if I can enlarge this. No, I can't. Okay.
No, you're pretty right on. Yeah, that I think he'd have a hard time. I think a lot of his colors would wash out if he's not careful. Yeah. Unlike the Pink Lemonade book.
Limited print run of 50 copies of something of the book. It says,
What?
Yeah, right here. Stop.
Me?
Go back down.
It's somebody who's printing 25 at a time.
Now stop. Right where you're at. I initially need 2,000 to commit to the time you draw the plan, minimum 48 pages of less. This would be a limited print run of 50 copies of this book.
Okay.
Yeah, sold. Yeah, Amazon print on demand.
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
Yeah. It's a very interesting concept. I like it. I just,
There's nothing wrong with it being sold on Amazon print on demand if you've got the right files to get it printed out well.
See, that's the kind of stuff that you might have seen out of Vertigo 10, maybe 15 years ago, right at the end of Karen Berger's run.
Yeah. Late Karen Berger, early Shelley Bond. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then what I'm doing, I am focusing on finishing my book because I need to get it finished. And my wife will kill me if I don't.
Focus.
As well as I'm trying to get some others. We've been redecorating my son's room, though. It's badass now. He's got like new furniture in there. He's put together his first actual art table today.
It's good you got rid of all the My Little Ponies and strawberry shortcakes.
Yeah, it's about time. He's grown out of My Little Pony. I think he's gonna.
I'm just kidding.
I think he's actually gonna want.
Caden's going, you're going to meet my samurai sword, or you keep that shit up.
I think he kind of wants some of the stickers off his wall. Now he was looking at them today with a little bit of disdain, but I was like, oh, okay, you want the dinosaur stickers now? But he's got this big, huge poster of Devil Dinosaur and Moon Girl.
Which version?
Very recent, because she's riding him through the city.
I'm sorry.
It's like 2015, 16. It's a big poster.
What do you think of the
Can't go wrong with a kid with a bunch of Kirby on his wall. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Well, what do you think?
I'm wrong.
Varian, what did your son think of the dinosaur art I did?
He didn't look at it yet. He likes dinosaurs. Okay. He hasn't come over here and looked at it yet. But Eric Hodson, who does Dinosaur Man, Eric and I print out a big, huge. We took a panel from Dinosaur Man and printed out on a 36 inch by, I forget how narrow, but this picture of Dinosaur Man. And Dinosaur Man also has this big red head. And I swear this kid's gonna make all dinosaurs red. He's gonna think that every dinosaur he sees from now, that dinosaur is cool, but
hey, we don't know.
Yeah,
we don't really know. We just make a best guess as to what color they are anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, they look like a lizard. They're green.
And I think Eric
finding dinosaurs covered in feathers. Last couple times, yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Dinosaurs are closer to chickens than they are lizards.
And people in the chat and people who watch after this, please comment on it. Let us know how you feel about the new software we're using here. You get to see all of our ugly mugs at the same time. And the reason why is because Google Hangouts is going away August 1st. So yeah, 1 month, a couple of weeks left with Google Hangouts, and then that's it. So we switched over to a different software. Got a couple of little bells and whistles. that we definitely like having. Gives me a couple little things to play with.
Colleen Jenkins, that must be Ralph. He says he's working on the TCM Sci-Fi Marathon right now. A lot of great old classic movies all through the week.
I intend to work on some sleep once we're out of here. I'm gonna dose myself up with
hit that NyQuil.
Pain meds. Yeah, tonight.
Is that going to help your other problem?
Tonight's recipe is NyQuil.
It
won't help his porn career.
I've got cold and flu. I've got mucus fast relief DM. Both contain alcohol.
And you plan on mixing both of those together?
Oh man, they call it lean where I'm from.
Cook that out. That's the best way to go. Just veg for 18 hours straight and sweat a lot. And by the time you're done, you're almost there.
I think my wife's watching, so
pneumonia,
man. That's when she gets the ball bet. She goes, I can make you sleep for a while.
Yeah. She'll come out and take the medication is what she'll do. Since you can't be trusted.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. She'll come out and take the medication. Babe, how am I supposed to sleep?
Give me that.
Yeah.
If you're sleeping, I'm sleeping too, damn it. Goddamn, you're so congested, you sound like a bear.
Yeah, I do. I keep everybody up. And now with all this phlegm, Ted Davies says he's finished learning the comic for publishing as soon as he gets his scans back. Yeah, Ted's publisher has not scanned his artwork yet, but that's okay, Ted, because I'm gonna get it scanned. But at least, Ted, you haven't sent me. Here's now.
Oh, save that for next week.
I know I only got a couple minutes, but I'll run this story through very quick. The quick and dirty version of it, guys. Everybody watching. I once had a gentleman draw for me at $120 per page. When I requested the pages so that I can scan them, he brought them up to my office. He left them at my office with my secretary. And when I got to the office, what I found was that he didn't leave the originals. He drew the artwork here on vellum. I'm going to go full screen for a second so that everybody can really take this in. Yeah, he drew the book. He had original pages, but when I asked for them so I can scan them, which was in our contract, he drew them on vellum. And
he's got a cave on the side of his head.
A cave? Yeah, I guess he. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, he does. Yeah, that ear looks kind of wonky, doesn't it? I thought it was very Mad Magazine-ish, which
very something-ish.
Randy and Louis have both seen this guy's portfolio, and Louis is convinced that I perhaps got sold a bill of goods, that perhaps this guy wasn't capable of drawing what he had given me, or what he had shown me. This is the other page. I'm not gonna. There is that, but
like I said, we all get taken in at one point or another.
Yeah. It was a
Randy. You saw the portfolio, right?
12 pages of the portfolio. Yes,
a couple pages from it. Yeah, didn't look like that, but
yeah, it looked like Greg Williams, Dark One, Animal Mystic.
He reminds me of a lot of guys that used to draw back there, back then, just as I was coming in, like the A+, the more the fanzine type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what can I tell you? Oops.
Yeah. He didn't draw that for me, and everybody knows vellum is very hard to.
I can say I've never had anybody turn in an entire story on vellum. I have done an entire story on vellum though, when I didn't want to hurt somebody's pencil work.
Yeah.
Right.
And inked it on vellum. There's a Spark story I inked over Rob Marzullo, like that. That turned out. I thought it turned out really good considering it was on vellum. So I think that was the last thing I actually physically inked. Of someone else's, that is.
We're gonna have to get Rob in here too. Randy, you can reach out to him.
Yes, I will. And I'm sure if he's got the time, he'd love to be on here.
Cool. All right, everybody, that's our time for this week.
That's all. I'm happy you mentioned him because that's a whole different perspective. Because he's been doing how to draw academy type stuff for a while now. He's got some good insights.
I saw us booking Michael's a little while ago.
Yeah, Michael's Hobby Lobby, all Impact Publishing, who does all those how-to books. He's got a really good book out on how to draw comic book characters. And he's comic book superheroes is what
Impact
it is.
Publishing has so much stuff.
Yeah, and he's come such a long way the last couple of years. He's developed out and really developed his style out. He's gotten really good.
Louis, where can they find you online if they want to yell at you today after the show?
Facebook, Louis.Bright-Raven.
Yell at Louis on Louis Bright-Raven on Facebook. Cuss him out, as well as send all your hate mail to Randy Zimmerman.
Randy Zimmerman. Yeah, I'm on Facebook, randyjzim@gmail.com. You can hit even Flint Comics with an X at gmail.com. And of course, you can always, please check out the Zimm Geek channel on YouTube.
I am
There will be new content up there.
Yeah. All right. And I am Varian Grant. You can find me on Facebook as well as my publishing company, lastcallcomics.com, that's all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And I'm on all of those. You can also directly contact me at IndieVolt on Twitter. I'll usually get it, or it'll come past me at some point. And then on the IndieVolt Facebook, make sure you're watching. If you have a Roku, you're watching IndieVolt TV. It is free. It is basically Netflix for indie movies. We also put some of this content up there as well. So you don't ever have to be without your IndieVolt. You should never be without your IndieVolt, as well as IndieVolt.com and IndieVolt Radio, which is available where? On Google. iTunes, you go right in the store. Not Google iTunes, but on Google, the Google Play Store, you go right to the store, type in IndieVolt Radio. It is free. It's a free download as well. Hours and hours of indie music played straight to your beautiful app. As you can go to the site and listen to it as well. But I really want you to download the app. It will be available on iTunes as well. I finished the coding. I just have to submit it to Apple now, which costs $100. Yeah, so
Ching.
Ching. $100 a year, by the way.
We get some coming and we get them going.
Oh, yes, they do. They get them all day. Fellas, thank you for joining me this week. We're going to get that second show launched pretty soon. Anybody have any closing statements?
Thanks for having us on, Varian. Thanks for listening in, all you IndieVolt people.
All right. Thank you guys for listening in.